Get the homeless veterans off the streets, put them in places like Scampton where they'll honour it, they'll get the pride back. If they're on drugs, get them in rehab. Set something up for them in places like that. Spend
Hi guys, welcome back.
On Scampton.
Welcome
They've
back
lost
to
300 billion at
Lincoln.
Scampton. Why don't they put that in to the homeless veterans? Give them their honour, give them their pride back and show them we actually respect what they've done for this country. Not to be put onto the streets begging for food. It shouldn't be happening. Nobody in this country should have to be put in that situation today. We send billions abroad with foreign aid, yet we've got people starving in this country, people that can't eat their homes, or they've got to choose between eating food and eating their homes. It shouldn't be happening. We've had enough, and we've got to keep coming out and fighting and showing them we're not going to stand back no more. We need these numbers to get bigger and bigger, and we need to show them we have had enough. Enough is enough. Thank you, everybody.
Well done, Scott. Well said. Sorry guys, I'm a little bit late. It's been a little bit hard getting here and then set the wrong line.
So for the next person speaking today, we've got a local man. We have Steve from Lincoln.
Thank you, and good afternoon, everybody. I'll just bend down slightly. Most people who live in England are embedded in a historical land. And history can teach us many, many lessons. And if we think that what's happening now in relation to the migration crisis that we see on our southern shore is something new, they would be greatly mistaken. Now remember that the English in England have been in England longer, about half a millennia longer, than the Maoris have actually been in New Zealand. We are indigenous to this land. This land is ours. It's named after us, the English people. Not named after anybody else. This is our land. We're tied to it by our ancestors. We're tied to it by blood. We're tied to it by all the hardships that our forebears have suffered over the years. Now, most of you will have not heard of the Chatham Islands. The Chatham Islands are a set of islands, about 9 in total, about 800 miles north of New Zealand. In around about 1600, the Chatham Islanders found on their shore a group of Maori. Now, the Chatham Islanders tribe was called the Maori. Now, the Maori had gone through a massive conflict throughout their islands, and they told each other, we are not going to settle anything by violence anymore. We are going to be welcoming. We're going to be their equivalent of the blue-haired harridans that we can hear over there. And what happened was that they had this very peaceful coexistence, but it only worked because they were a homogeneous people. It only worked because they understood the rules of how they were going to live. But what happened was that the Maoris saw this and they thought, well, this looks quite easy, because the Maoris didn't have the same kind of peaceful attitude. And so what happened was they set out. And when they actually landed on the Chatham Islands, they were tired, exhausted, they were shipwrecked, they've lost landed there, where most of them were injured and diseased. What happened was that their dinghies washed up onto the shore and said, no, this is terrible. We must look after them. We must bring them into our country. We must look after them. And the baby they will adopt our culture. Within 100 years from that arrival, the Maori were extinct. Because the Maori, who didn't share their culture, who didn't share their ways and didn't understand, didn't want to take part in their peaceful culture, multiplied. And they moved, dominating them, first by taking the daughters, and then second by ritual humiliation. And now, ladies and gentlemen, modern day equivalent, people that we can hear over yonder.
And so I believe they're here for a reason. They're here to fulfill a mission, and that mission is probably aligned with the Union policy on what they want to happen at 2030 with the Greens, which drags in the WHO and all these other NGOs full of non-elected officials.
Yeah.
A lot of them with very, very nefarious. Like the leader of the WEF. Is it? Whose relations were part of the Nazi Party years ago. So if you were to dig into all of them, you'd find something on all of them, I'm sure. Because they're all, the plan staring everybody more know than I'm up.
Thank you for your time, Simon. That's Simon Bean. Thank you. Because I've got an umbrella.
Right,
Yeah.
we'll crack on.
Here we are in Lincoln.
We've got a couple more speakers, and then we'll talk about marching through Lincoln, and hopefully the rain will have stopped by then. So the next person who's going to speak is a man who's been campaigning on these issues. Some of you guys, the large demonstration in Leeds at the beginning of June. So please welcome.
Need more people on the
Mr.
streets,
David
guys.
Sunderland.
You know, you're not far right, you're not racist. You're just concerned about your country.
Hello, thank you for welcoming me. Regarding issues regarding RAF Scampton, when they eventually move in, you've got to realise one major thing. Within 3 months, that village will be a no-go zone. They will bring their own laws into that village. Your houses, your valuation will decline by 70%. That's criminal to me. This is England, not Saudi. Also, the crime rate will go up by 60%. Your daughters won't be safe to go to school. Everything will decline in Lincoln. You'll have an Lincoln city centre.
Guys, just these few guys here, but you know, whether
Now, how are we going to
people
stop
did
this?
look at the weather, because it has
You go
absolutely
at the
been
top.
thunder and lightning and
Yeah, our government.
torrential rain all the way from Yorkshire
all they
to
want
Lincoln.
is just money and money and money to make into our pockets. Then what they do, they make money.
Well said, Susan.
They send it offshore bank
I'm
accounts
on
in Saudi Arabia,
O2.
in America, for sale.
But yeah, I'm just getting another SIM card for my iPhone because it's, yeah, I don't like this new Samsung for
I would say
filming.
at least £20 a week. What's a £20 a week for? For them to come over and have a life of luxury. Within 3 days they get their bank accounts. They go to the bank and draw what they want. They get their own identity. We've already got 250 people on the hit list who are criminals and rapists. And they're being allowed to come in this country and they're roaming the streets now. Nobody cares until something's done.
I'll try my best to get to
We've tried
Scarborough next
different
week. It's
strategies
just a bit
regarding
tough on the
grooming
weekend
gangs.
for me to
We
get
tried to
places.
send it in different
Hence why I do
things.
my activism in
That
a
is
week.
starting to work.
But
But we need
Respect
more
to
people to get
everyone that's
involved.
going.
I know in Lincoln and every other town and city, people are scared and they're scared to come out. But you don't realise what's going to happen. This country will be took over. Our laws will be gone. It's time to make a stand. Because if we don't make a stand now, our country is gone. I was waiting to come back on holiday, and it's funny, when you're on holiday, you enjoy yourself. And this lad said to me 2 days prior, I wish I was back home now. You're sitting at 35 degrees heat, you've got no problems, you're having a great time. You come home, you've got sky high electric bill to pay, you've got your sky high port tax, you've got everything else to pay, while they're sitting in 5-star accommodation in luxury and doing nothing. It doesn't matter what we do, the government takes no notice, everybody takes no notice. So enough is enough. We all need to stick together, all groups together, and tell them we've had enough and we want to, at the end of this year, go to Westminster in our thousands and tell them what we're going to do. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Dave.
Earlier in the week, I went to a meeting at the showground in Lincoln because what was being discussed was this proposal by the RAF to move the grave. Now, when they were asked why the grave needed to be moved, the reason they gave was that it might be damaged or not cared for where it stood. But what they wouldn't say is why. Why was it at risk of being destroyed? Why was it at risk of being defiled? They knew the answer, but they were too cowardly to say why. But the people who came here today know the answer. And they are not cowards. And they are not liars. And I know the reason why. And the reason why is because the RAF knew, just as the government knew, that anything that was part of the heritage and the history of our people was liable to be defiled and destroyed by uninvited, unwanted outsiders. People who have no connection to this land and no connection to its history. When I was there, something that I said to everyone, and in particular I addressed it to the MP and to the council. What I said was this: for weeks and months there has been, from Labour, from the Conservatives, from the Liberal Democrats, from every single side of the political spectrum, they have all said, we are opposed to what is happening in Scampton. 3 months ago in April, when we did this for the first time, I asked every single one of them, well, if you really are opposed, don't just tell us there, come here and say it to everyone who stands here. And from every single one of them, all that came was abuse and insults and slander against every single person involved in this campaign. And I expected nothing less, because you expect pathological liars to tell you lies all the time.
Long-legged nigger.
Now, here in this place,
Sorry,
in front of all
losing
these
reception,
people.
isn't it?
I saw one person from among them who came. Didn't see the MP, didn't see the councillor in Scampton. And having met these people, I now understand why. Because at the heart of the problem is cowardice. Not just in Scampton, but up and down this country. The reason that the problem has gotten to this
Thanks,
point,
band again.
where our own people, British people, are made strangers in their own country, is due to a relentless and unending cowardice that comes from the whole of common criminals in Westminster. I always hear, every time I do this, from the likes of the unions, the hard left, the communists, the Marxists, I keep hearing from them, refugees are not to blame. No, they're right, they're not to blame. The likes of them are to blame. Those vermin are to blame.
Hi, Graham.
The root cause of every problem that is plaguing this country today can be traced back to the same cartel of people. People who give the illusion of being enemies of one another, but all the while, like gangs in a drug cartel, they conspire. They conspire against anything they perceive to be a threat to their rule. They look at the sort of people who stand here today and they see a threat. They see a threat because we're doing what we're doing, not for money, not for power, but because of a loyalty to our own people that they do not possess. And that to them
Us
is
guys
a threat.
are on the Circle hit list in hotels, apparently, I've been told.
We are the arbiters of the working man. And they spit on people like me, they spit on nationalists. It's not because of any ideology. It's because we offer to do the same thing as them, but we do it for free. Everything is designed to be a grift. And our people are the victims of this grift. Our enemy today is an enemy that has taken root within. It is not a foreign country. It is not a foreign. It's an enemy that lives within. It's an enemy that professes itself to be our leaders, that leads our people only to their own death.
So I'll have a little look.
It's an enemy
And Liverpool is
loyalty.
Liverpool, I might say Liverpool when I'm in Lincoln.
It's an enemy that is as alien to anybody here.
Yeah, I've only ever been to Lincoln once, I think, when I was show at the Lincoln.
English people have a connection to English land. 1,000 years of heritage is now in our hands. We are the people who have inherited that great
Thanks, guys. We've got to keep this up. We've just got
And
to
there's two choices in front of us.
come out. No,
We can allow it to
we've
fall
never
and be
been
smashed
asked.
into pieces.
People are struggling
I know that it might
today
appear that
without all
the
this
situation is
immigration,
hopeless. I know there's going to be
especially
people here who are going to
undocumented
stand looking and thinking,
migrant
well,
men.
what difference can this make? What difference can it possibly make to see 50, 60 people gathered in the rain? How can that make a difference? But what they don't understand, and what they maybe need to discover, is that actually everything they need to save this nation is already within their possession. Everything they need is within their own blood. They don't need to look around to anybody else to save them.
Facebook.
As sure as the people of this nation do not need to look to any foreign power to rid them of this problem. Everything that we require to build the future we want is contained within our own hands and our own will and our own work. Our people people are nothing like the filth that are standing around that corner. Our people are not cowards. Our people are not thieves. Our people are not parasites. Our people are a great
I agree,
people,
Steve.
and they have been made great by 1,000
Just-
years of work. And this work will not be squandered. The time is coming soon. Those people, and they've done it with the belief that there would never be a reckoning. They will be proven mistaken.
Yeah, we
because a reckoning will
have to go
come.
out and
by
help the
time
homeless
they
on the
realise
streets
that
this
it's upon
winter.
them, then it will be too
Because our
late.
government sure won't.
What we see here today is not just a gathering of people. What we see is the wolves of Albion coming out from years and decades of slumber. What we see
North's gonna be
is
the
our
same
people
soon,
beginning
got
to
to know.
awaken in a way that hasn't happened in many, many years. Those people that are alive today cannot pass the can to anyone in future. Those people that are here today will be the deciding factor in the fate of our nation. And all those people that have believed that this nation and its people are finished, that Britannia is dead, they will be proven wrong, because Britannia will live and march on. So now's the time to back up the words with actions. So in about 10 minutes, what we're going to do is we're going to do what we promised we would do when we came here today, despite the rain, despite the filth, and we're going to march up Lincoln High Street. We'll have a banner at the front, we'll get the flags at the front, and what we're going to do is something that should have been done a long, long time ago, and we are going to march for our country and our people. So please don't go anywhere and join us as we march through Lincoln in about 5 to 10 minutes. We'll get everyone
Stop the
organised
boats,
and then we'll
guys.
head off.
Stop
Thank
the
you.
boats. So we're going to march through Lincoln now. Let's hope the rain keeps off, because it's literally torrential when it comes down. Good to see you. You all right? Yeah, good. We struggle getting down here with weather and the traffic, and it's just horrendous. It's supposed to be in July. We get one hot day and then we have to have this weather.
My car's knackered. I've had to use my old camper van.
Don't talk to me about cars. My mates is just going to go let us down the way. And we should have been here at 11:45 and we've got our at 12:15. But we're here, so that's the main thing, isn't it?
Over there. It's wider.
We're going to go where the clubhouse is.
It keeps blocking out, does mine. That's why I had to keep moving. Just kept going off my live.
Right, you've got a good reception.
I'm going back to my app.
Free bar.
I know, but it kept going off. Other than policing, misters were doing anything. Have you got that bag? What's happened to that bag?
What bag? Oh, give them away. Give them to the guy.
Oh, for fuck's sake. We're alright putting them for other things.
Yeah. She was wondering where the rape plans went. I just said I'd give them to the guy.
It's okay.
They're over there.
No problem. I thought that. So I put them down to get them off my and I thought they were gone. Yeah. And we've just brought some. Can you remember? A little while back, we were given lots and lots of rape alarms, children's ones that you can actually clip onto a toddler. Some that door stoppers with alarms on for old people that feel vulnerable. So yeah, a guy's taken a bag of the rape alarms and some of the children's alarms. I can't remember where he is now, the guy, but he lives near a hotel that is really frightened and concerned about the women and the children around there.